channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Alan DeBrinker, and today I'm going to review the highly anticipated blockbuster that's coming out this year, F9, the Fast Saga, or Fast and Furious 9, however you want to call it. This is the 9th movie in the Fast and Furious original franchise, and it's the 10th film technically in the franchise because we've got Hobbs and Shaw that came out a couple of years ago, so I'll still say it's the 10th movie in the franchise, but really, technically, it's the 9th film in the original franchise, that's all I'm going to say. This movie is directed by Justin Lin, who directed 5th to the 6th. No, sorry. He directed the 3rd one to the 6th, silly me. Just silly me. And stars a returning cast of Vin Diesel, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Michelle Rodriguez, and John Cena. So, what is the plot for F9 The Fast Saga? Well, Dominic Toretto somehow has a brother, played by John Cena, who's this assassin they are after. And Han is back. And Dominic Toretto and the crew has to stop John Cena and bad guys. And it's a Fast and Furious movie. What is the main plot of this movie? Now, I like the Fast and Furious series. You guys know that I find these movies just fun, guilty pleasure movies. Even though I find some enjoyment in some bad ones like Tokyo Drift, they have some special places in my heart. I can watch the series and just enjoy them for popcorn fun. But when it comes to this movie, I was literally watching the trailer for this movie, and it shows that basically this movie is not going to be as good as the other movies. The trailers look like this movie is really unnecessary to begin with. Why do we need more Fast and Furious movies? I know they made a lot of money, but seriously, this franchise just keeps on going. So for this movie, I wasn't that intrigued from the trailers, but I still gave it a chance. I just want a fun, guilty pleasure movie like the rest of the Fast and Furious movies, and guys, I gotta say, F9 The Fast Saga sucks. I really didn't like this movie. I was so let down by this movie. I remember I was walking out of the theater for this movie going, what happened? What happened to this franchise? Now, of course, we're going to talk about some good things about the movie. First off, the cast. You know, they're still the same cast. They have some likability in them. You know, Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez. But I think the best characters in the film is definitely Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson. Love their chemistry in this film. They brought out something funny in this film that I'm not going to spoil, but it actually does make fun of the franchise. That's all that joke has to do with. And I find that joke actually pretty clever. Also, some of the action scenes were good. Definitely the last act is when I did enjoy this movie. The last action scene was a lot of fun to watch. And there are even some conspiracy theories that everyone thinks throughout like the movie, and it actually came true in this film. When you watch this film, you know what I'm talking about. But guys, that's it. Because F9 The Fast Saga was definitely probably the worst movie in the Fast and Furious series, probably since Tokyo Drift. This movie has more flaws than I thought it would. First off, even though the cast, you know, they're in the movie and you like them, the acting in this movie sucks. Like, every single actor in this movie, especially from Vin Diesel in the movie, they all feel very bland, and they don't feel like they wanted to be in this franchise anymore. They don't look like they had fun with this movie. Their acting is so bland and generic that you basically don't root for them in this movie. And this is the crew we're talking about. We follow them along throughout the series. We follow Dominic Toretto. We follow Michelle Rodriguez as Letty. We follow the other characters even in the older franchises. We follow these characters. And in this movie, they just felt like they're just giving up with their characters. They're just like, let's get this movie over with for the paycheck. That's how the acting is in this movie. It just didn't feel special. It didn't feel like it was the exact same acting that's on the other movies. And I know this is a Fast and Furious movie. You're not supposed to take it seriously. But for this movie alone, this movie didn't have the fun that I had with the other movies, with the guilty pleasure standpoints. Because this movie was honestly boring as shit. This movie doesn't have as much action scenes. Most of this movie is about Dominic Toretto and the crew just talking about things. Talking about things that they thought it would have been important to this franchise, and it is not. This movie has so much dialogue, and it honestly did not pay off. It didn't got me interested. It didn't got me root for this group. It just got boring and boring and boring, and I'm literally going, where are the action scenes? Because that's what these movies are all about. The action, they're fun to watch, even though of how ridiculous the action is. And yes, this movie does go a lot ridiculous than the other movies in a lot of ways, but I wasn't invested. I wasn't interested. And there's a lot of characters in this film that are like, why the hell are they in this movie? John Cena, for example, as Dominic Toretto's brother, is probably one of my biggest character flaws in the movie. Actually, one of them, with the next character I'm going to talk about. John Cena is a good actor, you know? I don't mind John Cena as an actor. But in this movie, his arc in this movie does not make sense. Dominic Toretto in this film did not mention his brother in the series. They bring him up in this movie. They show a lot of the backstory between Dominic Toretto and his brother in the past. You know, like they show a lot of flashbacks of them in the film. But since he didn't mention him in the other movies, why should I care about the chemistry between Dominic and his brother? It just shows that they're making a sequel to the Fast and Furious movie for the sake of doing it, for the sake of money. They don't even care about the characters, they don't even care about the story. And this is disappointing because Justin Lin directed this film. And he directed the 5th movie, which is my favorite film in the Fast and Furious series, from the 6th one that I also liked. What has happened to this director? I think he's just lost his spark since other directors directed the Fast and Furious movies. And again, another character we don't need in this film. Han is back, and it's not a spoiler because we've seen Han in the trailers. Oh my god, the way to bring Han back in this film, the whole explanation why Han is not dead, was lazy. It just felt like, oh, you know, Han misses being in the Fast and Furious movies, so let's just bring him in somehow. And they bring up this. The most unnecessary re-bringing the character back to life story that we don't even need. And that's this movie. We don't need more Fast and Furious movies. We got way too much of these movies. Is the Fast and Furious movie going to be like the next Bond? Because of how many movies are going to be made, I think they're going to make 10 films. So there's going to be a 10th film. And honestly, after this film, I'm kind of glad they're making a 10th film. So this franchise can be over and we don't need more of these movies. Guys, overall, F9 The Fast Saga was such a letdown. Especially that I am a fan of the rest of the Fast and Furious movies. Yes, even Hobbs and Shaw. I was so let down by this movie. It shows that they're making another Fast and Furious movie for the sake of making another Fast and Furious movie. This movie has no purpose, no hope. It literally just has a plot that's like, okay, let's just bring up another character that wasn't mentioned, but we're going to try and explanate it and basically make sure that everyone gets what's going on. And it literally didn't do that for me. I think the acting was very bland, especially coming from Vin Diesel, which I like Vin Diesel. The cars in this film are not even that great. Like, they're not as memorable as the other movies. Because that's another thing about the Fast and Furious movies that are good. The cars. Even the cars in this movie suck. Only the 3rd action scene was good. The rest of the action was just pretty bland, pretty forgettable. The story of this movie did not make any sense. It's definitely a movie that I had to take seriously, and that's disappointing because I thought this movie is a movie that I shouldn't take it seriously, but with all these flaws, I have to take this film seriously. Guys, don't watch this movie. This is definitely the most disappointing movie of this entire year, and I'm going to give F9 The Fast Saga a D. So guys, that is my review for F9 The Fast Saga, or Fast and Furious 9. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie? Do you think this is the best movie in the Fast and Furious franchise? Or you think it's the worst? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Keep contact with me. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, notified for my latest movie reviews. And...